So today we will be continuing on the inspiration of the Dharma talks shared by Elizabeth in the weeks and months prior to me stepping forward as she transitions into grandmahood. These talks, the titles of them have varied, the form of them, the flavors have taken different nuances, and yet they have followed this through line of what it means to awaken that bodhisattva, that hardened mind that can bear it all, that capacity to be engaged in our day-to-day life, both with our families and in the spheres that we wish to impact through the way that we meet each moment, through our capacity to de-escalate our reactive patterns. And so following this inspiration, and one that I was given by Liza Jane quite a while back, titled The Different Faces of Love. This was a talk given by Thich Nhat Hanh in a gathering in 2002. The subtitle, you could say, an elaboration on the title of this talk, is the teachings on the dimension of action of Avalokitesvara, the Bodhisattva of understanding, of great compassion, of great compassion, from the Universal Door chapter of the Lotus Sutra. And so we first began with a section titled Drawing Danger into Ourselves. This was an invitation to meet the places where naturally we experience fear, and by the way in which we meet that fear, by the deep seeing, by the mindfulness with which we meet it, we recognize that much of the fear that we feel in our day-to-day is actually a construction by our perception, and that we carry the capacity, we receive the invitation to deconstruct this reflexive way of being with life, to then transform that fear. And the opposite of detonating, there's a word that I'm trying to remember, but instead of allowing it to function, we disabled these fears. And the following section we reflected upon last session was called The Eye of Understanding. In it, we contemplated how oftentimes the love that we extend to others, not having a true understanding of the other person or how they wish to be loved, our love is harmful. And so that enable to love and be in loving relationship with others, it calls for deep understanding. Thich said, the fabric of love is made of understanding. And so these are the various expressions of how Avalokitesvara in this section of the Lotus Sutra is described to walk upon the earth in joy. What was their emanation like? And their capacity to meet each moment and extend compassion. So in this sense, compassion, not just being the capacity to feel another's pain, but to bring some ease to that pain. And so today we will be with a section of the talk titled 4 Skillful Means for Embracing Living Beings and Offering the Gift of Non-Fear. And so Tai shares, how does the Bodhisattva act in order to help living beings to overcome their suffering and to realize their ultimate dimension? We speak of 4 skillful means used by the Bodhisattva in the dimension of action to embrace living beings. They are making offerings, using loving speech, doing things to benefit the other person, and lastly, doing the same thing, or in this sense, becoming one with the people you want to help. And so he says, there are 3 kinds of gifts spoken in Buddhism when it comes to making offerings. There are material gifts, the gift of the dharma, and the gift of non-fear. When you offer things to people, you are practicing compassion, and you also open the way for reconciliation and healing. Tai shares, the most precious gift that Avalokitesvara can offer us is the gift of non-fear. People are afraid of losing their identity, of dying, of becoming nothing. When you give the kind of teaching and practice and insight that helps people touch their ultimate dimension, they lose all their fear. But you need to have that gift of non-fear within you in order for you to be able to offer it to others. End quote. So I have been inspired to study this talk because I've been feeling particularly challenged to embody these different faces of love in my own life. And in being with these teachings and allowing them to sink into me a little bit further and to melt into my own mind stream, I feel strengthened. I feel strengthened to cultivate these expressions within me. And so I was considering how truthfully I do not have the gift of non-fear within me in order to be able to offer it to you. But I am an aspirant, and there are moments of deep surrender and of insight that come from presencing what is exactly as it is in this moment. And particularly when I sit with friends and mentors, like folks in the circle, who by hearing how they are meeting whichever moment life is presenting them with, I am left with a gift of non-fear. And it's difficult to describe what this gift is like, non-fear, because I think we are so much more familiar with fear, whether it is anxiety or the weight in the chest or the short breath. And so in this moment, I'm feeling to describe what that gift of non-fear is like in relation to a fear that I've been having of late as I approach the gift of motherhood and as I embark on this journey I have been experiencing fears around where I will live to bear this child, how I will do so in a conscious and sovereign way, how I may both honor what my family has given me and how I wish to do things differently. But one of the things that has been particularly challenging is the knowing that I will be never again the same person once this little creature comes into the world. And what will this new Rasul be like? And will I be ever again sane? Or what will this new form of sanity be like? And how I will be stretched and dissolved. And so, as I meet this moment in knowing that I will be changed and knowing that there is uncertainty right now, and allowing myself to lean into that uncertainty with an invitation of being pleasantly surprised, and an invitation to be met by life and by those around me, and by my own resiliency and courage in our inherent nature. To meet this moment, I feel a sense of some iteration of non-fear, I feel, because it's so large, and so I can't outright say there is no fear. But there is a sense of peace that I am welcoming as I lean into this invitation that is granted by the gift of awareness itself, and by the gift of that presence that beings like Avalokitesvara and Avalokitesvara in the form of each of you, when you share your own experiences in this circle, are embodied. That gift of non-fear, of just pure present awareness. And so we'll end with this final section from the talk. Tai shares, perhaps as a child you have played with a kaleidoscope, a very simple, wonderful toy. I have a few in my hut. In it there are loose bits of colored materials and 2 mirrors at one end that show many different patterns. Each pattern is a beautiful manifestation. If you turn it a little bit, that manifestation will be replaced with another manifestation. Every manifestation is beautiful. As a child, you don't regret when one manifestation replaces another. The manifestations also, no matter how beautiful they are, do not feel sorrowful when they give their place to the next manifestation. The child just enjoys the changes without any regret, because the next manifestation is as beautiful as the current one. There is no fear, no regret, because all manifestations have the same ground, the little bits of colors in the kaleidoscope. The ground of all manifestations is always there. If you can touch the ground, you don't mind the changes. You are not caught by this body. You know this is just one manifestation. You are ready to manifest in another form as wonderful as this one.